Hey everybody, it's Lacey. Welcome to Paws and Paper. So today I have a fun little share today. If you want to know how I have achieved this pretty bluish denim gray color, stay tuned. I will show you. And here it is, black beans. Would you believe that black beans creates this pretty bluish denim color dye? Okay, so what I did first, I'll tell you how I made the dye, which was super simple. And I was kind of inspired. I've been watching Melanie at the Treasured Page, and she's been doing like this April alchemy, which is all about finding natural dyes and using things from nature to create, you know, pretty colors. So I was looking up easy ways to do dyes. So I found one on black beans. And I know there's different things you can put into it and it gets really complicated, but I did it the super simple way because I just wanted it to be easy and I didn't want to have to buy any more supplies than I needed. So I got me a pack of black beans, dried black beans, 1 pound. I got mine from a Walmart. And I put it into this glass 13 by 9 pan. So I just dumped my dried beans in and I filled it up with water. And I put a lot of water in here because the beans will swell. And this has to sit for at least, I let it sit for 2 days. So I put them in, I let it sit overnight. The next day I checked it, made sure it had enough water because you don't want the water to go below the beans. So, I mean, fill it up so that there is water well above the beans. So then I let it go another day, and then on that second day, I actually put some things in to dye it. And this just sits cold water. I put the lid on, I set it on my counter in the kitchen, and I didn't do anything with it. I didn't heat anything, I didn't refrigerate anything. Just put the beans in there and water. Let it sit. Second day, I went ahead and I started putting things in. And now all these things were done in the same batch of beans, and you will see the variation of colors is really kind of cool. So let's do the paper things first. And I just did a whole bunch of different types of paper because I also wanted just to see if the types of paper dyed differently. And again, I didn't put anything else in the water except the beans. Beans and water, that's it. And when I put papers in, I think I did all of these in one batch. Or no, I did like these envelopes with, I'm going to try to show you what batches I did. Okay, so I did all of these in one batch and then all of these in another batch, meaning I just started laying the paper down, smushing it, you know what I mean? And I just kept covering it. And the key to this is you have to let it sit in the bean water. And I just stacked everything in here and let it sit and then just put the lid back on. So I have my layer of beans, I have all my water in here, and then I just started laying my papers in here and smushing them. And I smushed them all in here, and I gave them a good smush. Got them all in there. Bent them, however I had to get them in there. I put the lid on, and I went away for at least, I would say 20 to 30 minutes is how long you're going to want to let it sit. I didn't drain the beans. I didn't strain anything. I just put everything right on top of the beans. You know, I'm like, I know people strained it. I know they put things in the water. I didn't do any of that. Like I said, I'm just trying to go for the easiest thing possible. So here's what I got out of it, which was really fun because everything turned out slightly different. And this is all from this one batch of bean water. That's all it is, bean water to me. Okay, so this is just an envelope, and I hope you can see the color. In person, it is a bluish gray color, but it's a very pretty bluish gray, okay? And these are both the same types of envelopes. So these were just two like little envelopes. And I think everything I did, I tried to keep the paper white so that I could see, you know, like the color of it. Like I didn't use like a real cream colored paper. This was just this is a thinner, like a notebook type paper. This just came out of a notebook. And you can see the pretty variations of color that you get. Hopefully you can see the pretty colors. It is very hard to tell what you can see on camera. Graph paper. Graph paper turned out kind of cool. This turned out lighter than I was expecting. I thought this would turn out a little bit darker, but I did, if you can see like the difference, look the difference in those two. And I laid these just right on top of each other so you can see the different types of paper really suck up the dye differently. And I think that was the thing that was kind of cool about this. This is like a linen type, like resume paper. I think this is more of like a, you know, like a fancier, heavier paper. This got like a, I don't know, this got a light color to it. This didn't get real dark either. Out of this whole batch, this one just lightweight notebook paper turned out the best. Okay, and these, all three of these, this is just copy paper. Copy weight copy paper, like, I don't know, 20, 24 pound, just regular old printer paper. Stacked right on top of each other. And I don't know if you can tell, but look at the difference in colors. And all three of these are just stacked right on top of each other. Completely different. Didn't do anything different. It's just the way the paper took it, which is kind of cool because no matter what you do, I mean, you're going to end up with like different results, which is neat because it's like not everything turns out the same. This is that calligraphy paper. Again, another really heavyweight paper. This, I was kind of thinking maybe like the real heavy paper would really suck up the water. But it just didn't get a dark color. I don't know what it is, but, or what causes it to get a darker color, but that did not get a super dark color. And then I did some other like specialty type papers. These here are all, these are just index cards. These were the lined ones, which you can barely see the lines on them now. But those were the lined index cards, and these were just the plain white index cards. Very pretty colors. Oh, these actually had, well, these were touching these. That's what that is. They touched the lines there. Because I'm like, these were pure white. I don't know why they got a red line there, but it just transferred. Here I just did, I had one of these airmail envelopes, and it was blue and red. So I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool to tinge the whole thing blue. Now there you can see, that was the original color of the envelope, and that's the dye color. So you can see you do get a blue color. And again, like I said, I hope it's showing up on camera a little bit. It's really hard to tell. But it is a very pretty blue. Now, some of my favorites here are these. This here is just a scrap piece of that, the onion skin paper that I have, which is basically just like that real thin, like typewriter paper. But this got a real pretty color. I don't know. Let me hold it up next to something a little bit lighter. Look how dark that color got. That real thin, oniony, parchment-y type paper got real dark, which was really cool. This is, to me, a true, like, denim color. That's pretty. This here is tracing paper. Not quite as dark as, like, the onion-skinned paper, but still, the tracing paper got this really pretty color to it. And I love it because it's a neat, neutral color that I think is going to look really pretty as pages in a journal. Oh, this is just regular notebook paper, which gave it a cool look because the red line stayed there. But, you know, all the, like, the blue lines just really faded away. So that turned out pretty. I like how that looked. And then the last one, which I thought was really pretty. This, again, this here is another, it's another typewriter type paper. I don't know if I have, let me see if I have my, I don't know where my actual, oh, here it is. It's like it's really old paper, like erasable bond typing paper. That's what it is. Like I found these types of papers and they're slightly like glossy almost. But that's what it is. It's like this erasable bond. I have two different kinds. I have that one and I have, yeah, they're both called erasable bond typing paper. But this is the paper that I thought like turned out really cool. It got this really dark, pretty denim color to it. You know, like it compared with the onion skin paper with how dark it got. So those were my two really dark colors out of paper. So you can see just the wide array. I tried to do all different types. And when I put them next to each other, then you can start to see the variations in colors. And like I said, a lot of these I just stacked right on top of each other in the same bowl. And look at that array of color. That is really cool. I think that's neat when you get a whole variety of colors. So that's all the papers out of the black beans. So then I tried some fabrics and laces. I was a little underwhelmed with the laces. The laces just did not turn out well at all. Do I have anything fairly white? This is not white, but this is the closest white we got here close. But if you can see, the lace turned out pretty, in person, it's just a real dirty gray look. So I was not impressed with any of my laces, how they accepted the black bean dye. I mean, it just turned it a real, I mean, and if this was the color you were going for, like a dirty gray, like it looks like I had my hands dirty and greasy and I just touched it all. That's what it looks like. So none of these really turned out. This was actually just fabric from a shirt. Again, it turned out just this weird, it's almost have like a greenish gray tint to it. I don't know. It even looks it just looks dirty. And so I wasn't real impressed with any of those laces until I got to my cotton fabrics. When I got to the cottons, so like this here is just some strings. You can see the color really changed from this yucky, really dirty to I got more of that bluish denim-y color. So cotton string worked. This is a piece of like cotton. This is cotton, like the little eyelet lace or whatever you call this. But you can tell, look at the band of that. It really accepted cotton well. Now I know there's probably, you should use, what do they call them? They call them mordants, I think, which you put things like alum into here and it's supposed to help, you know, color fast fabrics, and maybe that would change my lace. But like I said, I wasn't going to do all the extra bits you had to put in it, and I just strictly wanted beans and water. So this here, again, this is just a cotton, and this is, I think, an old panel from like maybe a curtain panel. But this came out really pretty, if you can see that. That's got a really pretty color, and it was fairly consistent. I mean, there's a little bit of, you know, variation, because when I put it in my bowl, I just laid it in there like this, and I just folded it back and forth like that, and I shoved it all under there. And I let it sit for like, this is letting it sit for 30 minutes. I let everything sit for 30 minutes before I took it out. And this I just laid out like in the sun and let dry. That turned out really pretty. But the one that surprised me the most, this was kind of crazy. This is just a plain white cotton bed sheet. But I don't know what it was about this, but it like almost made it purple. Can you see the comparison between the two? This just amazed me. Like, these two fabrics are both, to me, feel relatively similar, but look at the difference. I didn't change anything in my water, and I got those two hugely different colors. That's what I think is so cool about this. And, you know, it was super easy. The only thing is it does take time. Like, you have to let your beans soak overnight. So yeah, it takes time. But the thing is you're not actively sitting there with it. So, you know, you dump the beans in there, you cover it with water and you forget about it. So you just can't, oh, if I want to do it today, you got to prepare ahead of time, you know. But isn't that cool? So I thought it was a good experiment and a super easy way to dye to get a really pretty bluish, even almost purplish color based on, you know, what kinds of paper you use. So that's what I thought was really super neat about this. No matter, you know, I didn't change anything in my mixture, but I got this whole variety of colors from the same exact pan of water and beans. So I hope you guys found this useful and give it a try. Try out some different papers and let me know what you thought worked the best, because I really think this typing paper was the best for getting that really blue color. And like I said, just beans and water, nothing else. And this is what I got. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Go experiment and get your paws dirty. So I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye.